come. They were expected. The naysayers have come. Yeah, and they unfortunately we started fighting. The way Shemema said earlier on, we started fighting on our own. We started, oh, sijui alisema nini, sijui alikula pesa gani, huyu alifanya nini. And at some point, I felt like we need a hard reset. Yeah. So as we are getting into the mood of now getting into talking about these conversations, we'd like to also hear people talk about their mind space, because I myself felt the pressure listening and hosting the space every day, a flood of information. You know, IEBC is supposed to be reconstituted. We're going to have that conversation in a few, and also a lot of things were coming up. So take a break if you can, and if you must, don't let it. Spaces sio kazi ya kukuweka hapo hivi eti utashikwa usipoingia spaces. If you feel like you're not able to stay to talk, if you feel like you do not want to listen, it is okay to stay away from spaces. I understand. People will understand. So don't lose yourself trying to be the speaker in every space. You know, unataka kukasirika sana mpaka we mwenyewe ujichukulii break kujiangalia. DK anakuona mkono uko juu. After DK, we will go to Anko and of course Riek.
I just want to strengthen what you're talking about, and it is not even a question of if you can. It is more like you must. You have to take breaks from these discussions if you want to be able to sustain through this battle. Because this is not one of those wars you just wake up and we're here throwing punches for the sake of throwing, get our quick results and move. There's a battle here. That's number one. Number two, there's somewhere personally my way of taking a break this week, Pipita, like yours, which I totally respect how you did it, and I believe everybody should be allowed to do them how they see it best. For example, for you chose to be, off the space, your Twitter, but off the spaces, allowing yourself to be off the political conversations and all these other things going on. For me, I stayed away same way like you. And just like you, I was on Twitter as well. Now, while you were seeing OF magic, I personally chose to go purely and specifically only on spaces where the only thing I discussed is life and life itself. Nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with the governance, nothing to do with the corruption, nothing to do with everything that we know is still going on. Sure, the world doesn't stop when we take a break. The world does go on. But you need to rejuvenate yourself every other day. You need to be able to remember that your mind is your own. You're the only protector of your own, your everything that you have in your mental spaces. And life there is more. And please let nobody quote me as if I'm saying that mambo tunapitia saizi and everything and Ruto anafanya and everything that has to do with the governance seem important. But there is life before, during, and beyond good, bad, or whatever kind of governance. There is life. There is life beyond everything. Whether it is with family, whether it is the work you have, whether it is just even yourself, checking yourself to be in the right space for the right reason. So personally, mimi nilichoose kwenda in spaces where buda hata vitu zingine tulikuwa tunaongela kwa spaces zilikuwa vitu za upuzi. You walk into some of those spaces, we were actually just laughing and making noise and then talking about some very sensible stuff and picking some regular topics that are happening in people's life, but nothing to do with what is happening in our political space. Now, I urge everybody who's been here, and I say this because before this week, I have seen some of us who are here, not all, but a big bunch of people that are here. When I scroll down, I have seen some of these as familiar profile pictures on other spaces that we've been in, where we want to find out what is happening with our nation. So this is a message to each one of you. I urge you, please, also remember to hit a pause button not when you need to. Always make sure to find the time that is best for you to have a pause button, to be able to refresh yourself and to be able to stay in a position where you sustain yourself through this battle much longer than working it out as if it is a sprint. It's a marathon, it's a race, it's not a 100-meter sprint.
Thank you for that submission, DK. Roger, habari ankali?
Yo, pipi ni aje?
Poa sana.
I hope nasikika poa.
Uko loud and clear.
Next time ukienda break, banaenda break ya siku mbili pekee, si wiki mzima. Anyway, I hope kila mtu mwenye ananisikia ako fiti, and that they haven't lost hope. Bado tuko kwa hii fight. Vile tulianza same way lazima tumalize. So, back to the finance bill. Hiyo ndio kitu mimi nataka kuongelea. These guys are proposing to bring it back. But they are not really bring it back kwa sababu haikuwa ipotea. Haikuwa ienda popote. The finance bill has always been there. Ile mchezo tu yenye Ruto alitufanyia, alitufeed what we call breadcrumbs. Akatufanya tukatulia kidogo, but he knew what he was doing. So, nimesoma a few articles here and there, and there's a procedure yenye Ruto kama angetaka this bill iwe totally repealed angefanya. Ya kwanza, we must understand that once the bill imepita the third reading, it can never be dropped. Hakuna MP ako na hiyo mandate, speaker hana hiyo mandate, na pia the president hana hiyo mandate once imepita the third reading. But the first and second reading, MP mwenye alitable it, yeye ndo anaweza i-recall. Now, ilikuwa ishapita third reading, in fact kitu ilikuwa imebaki ni the president to assent it. So, you can remember very well, immediately after June 25th, Parliament ilienda break, I think for like 3 weeks, and the speaker was really reluctant to recall back MPs wakuje wa discuss on the way forward and how to fully angusha this bill. That never happened. Another thing to consider ni ati the speaker can call MPs kwa parliament time yoyote. We remember ile time walitaka ku unleash the military, MPs walipigiwa simu 8 in the morning, by 10 walikuwa washapitisha the thing, military walikuwa kwa street. Now, this is what Ruto must have done kama angetaka the bill iwe fully withdrawn, but at this moment hatutumii the word withdrawn, we use the word repeal. He would have assented the bill into an act, alafu iwe gazetted that imepitishwa, and then after that he would have written to the parliament kitu inaitwa a bill to repeal. That is, angeandikia parliament a bill to repeal the finance bill, which at this moment sasa ingekuwa act to repeal the finance act of 2024, and the parliament would have discussed on how to move forward, and then to totally repeal the finance act venye ilikuwa yote, not specific clauses, not specific sentences or full stops or commas, but yote. That never happened. You get? And then this guy was now cornered. Amebaki na a finance bill enye anataka kupitisha, but he can't do that kwa sababu hana hiyo powers ya ku withdraw vile tumesema, na hakuwa sent it hakuwa sent it to an act. Sasa he's in a legal quagmire. Afanye nini? Haizi angusha because anaitaka, na pia haizi angusha because tumemforce aangushe. Now he welcomed in the opposition. The opposition traditionally, ukiangalia watu wenye wanajua kurusha mawe vizuri and to protest and to picket are my fellow brothers, kwa sababu mimi ni Mluya. Waluya, Wajaka, watu wa Rift Valley kidogo, na watu wa Coast wako kwa government. We all saw the videos zenye watu wanasema sisi sasa turudi street kwa sababu tuko kwa government. Sasa hiyo imetuacha mahali penye this guy, if we decide to go back to the streets, some of us believe hatuna hizo numbers, and that's okay. Now, mahali pengine penye ametukona is ni hapa penye he wants us to be grouped. Not really grouped, but tukisema tunaenda demonstration, tunaambiwa demonstration mtafanyia Jivanji peke yake ama place fulani fulani peke yake, and that is through the Assembly and Demonstration Bill of 2024. Imeletwa kwa parliament na we can't demonstrate once imepitishwa, and I think that's the political game they want to play. Kwanza wapitishe hii Assembly and Demonstrations Bill, after imekuwa law sasa warudishe finance bill in totality, na that way tutakuwa cornered vibaya sana. So I think moving forward inafaa tuharakisha hawa majamaa tuwaambie cheki ni aje, you're not bringing back the finance bill, and we should also march against this Assembly and Demonstration Bill, ndio in case ipitishwe ya kwanza before the finance bill tusilemewe I mean first iwe dropped, alafu ndo hata wakileta finance bill tusilemewe kurudi street, otherwise hapa hivi tutakuwa cornered vibaya sana. Another thing, this is the last point, poleni sana na take so long kuongea. Another thing ni ati we should remember that these politicians are fighting us from within, not from without, and that means wanaleta zile vita ndogo ndogo, mimi nipigane na Pipi apigane na Hanifa apigane na 6000 hivyo. You get, now that is a fight amongst ourselves. Another way they're fighting us ni wamebuy a few people here and there wenye wana to psych up, let's go to the streets, and then one day before the march the same people wenye walikuwa wana to psych wanatuambia hapana, take a step back, msiende street. You see, so when we see such things happen tunafikiria we are moving forward, but in reality we are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere as long as one day ama 2 days before the protests tunaambiana hapana, let's take a step back. So yeah, there's that. The finance bill was never dropped, iliekwa tu mahali waiting for the right time ipitishwe, and also we need to find a way enye tutaangusha hii Assembly and Demonstrations Bill if we are to really fight the finance bill, kwa sababu hiyo ndo kitu imewekwa hapo ku make sure we don't demonstrate. Thank you.
That bill you're talking about, from what you are saying, make a lot of sense, because now if they bring the Assembly's bill, it means that we cannot picket against anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We can't picket against anything
else. We can't. Hatuwezi hata picket tuseme dissolve the parliament. We'll be done.
And that is what they've done. I think that is what that is playing. Yeah. What can we have maybe someone who can track how far that bill is? Is it in the second reading, first reading? I'd like to hear. Write it on the comment section if you can as well.
Okay, sawa.
Unajiko stage gani, Roger?
I think iko the second reading. No, I think imerudishwa bado iko kwa first reading kwa sababu ilikuwa kwa delineation leo, ilikuwa withdrawn before but imerudishwa tena. So I think bado iko kwa first reading, but let me check alafu nitasema hapo kwa comment section.
Okay, sawa. Thank you so much for that submission, Roger. I want to go to David, and then DK is going to help us go around the mic again and converse and go deeper into this conversation. David, how are you?
I'm very fine, Pipita. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much, DK Gift and Pipita. So what I really wanted to say is that, by the way, by now, place tumefika, we should not even depend on the government itusaidie, because right now tushaona ukweli ushatoka. Hizo hope tuko nazo ndogo na government tutoe kwa akili, because it is no longer sustainable. Tuache kufikiria government is the only way we can solve or hizi mashida zote tuko nazo. So what we do is that, kama venye tumesema, if there's any way you can help your neighbor, that is one way of solving a problem. Same way na venye tunaweza peana ka example ka for example, if your road outside there imeshikwa na pothole, you can just shika bishti yako, hiyo shimo usingojee gava ikuje isolve, because what I've realized, government is not there to solve our problems. Right now, place tumefika, it is very clear that the government only create problems. Then after when we create problems, ndio wanna pretend that they are providing solution. But the government only makes money when people are poor. As in, the more you are more poor or even destabilized, the more they can suck value out of you. So we should we should we should stop thinking about government solving our problems. Place tumefika, it's no longer sustainable or something that we can even start thinking of. We can only solve our problems as Kenyans. So you just start with your neighbor, help each other in any way possible, and even tuache kufikiria gava, because right now they are only thieves, they are only there for themselves, and we can only solve our problem if we create system for ourselves. In fact, we should not even spend so much time fighting this government, because after all, place tumefika, you have realized they can do anything for themselves. So what can we do? We just cripple them. We make sure that the value that we have right now, we are creating system that can sustain us as the Kenyan citizens. Because instead of using so much energy doing bad things, we should use that energy to do something that is very useful for us as citizens. If they don't want to fund the Galanakulalu or those systems of farming, those groups zenye zinashikana, we can do that. If possible, all the farmers washikanishwe, waprovidiwe education, because I understand by now, hata kama tumechukua break, it was very essential because government right now because of the knowledge we have and information, it is poking holes. As in, government kila siku ni scandal after scandal. Every time you wake up, it is a new scandal. So you just leave them themselves, wao wenyewe wataji expose, because after all, if the system is broken, you don't have to waste time even fighting them, because already themselves they can just expose their bad
So
deeds. So
what
what
are
we
you
do
doing? What
as
are you trying to
citizens,
say? What are you trying to tell me, Bana? You're trying to tell me that I pay people taxes for just a minute. I want you to answer me this. You're telling me that the people I pay my taxes to, that drive cars on the tarmac with our money, that pay bills with our money, we should
yeah.
go sasa. Hata sisi sasa tushikane tujenge hospitali. Hebu shike kiboko. What are you trying to say? What is this defeatist mentality, bro? Acha tukuulize tu
No,
tuonge tu kama mabrathe. What is this defeatist mentality yenye
yeah,
unasema eti kama kuna pothole tujenge? Do you know you cannot do that?
yeah, I know,
Yes.
but what I'm trying to say is that as ourselves as Kenyans, we create our own systems where, for example, like we have already started movements of recruiting kama ni ma IT experts to create systems zenye kama ni mambo ya kuvote, we can do it digitally without having to depend on doing those elections kama ni nini, kama ni kwenda physically to the nini polling station. So what I'm
Brother.
trying to say is that
Eh.
yes,
Usianze kutuambia mambo ya kutusiende kuvote. Just you know, it's not fair. It's not fair. What
yeah,
do you
yeah,
what do you mean? Unajua tunataka kuongea vitu ziko na solutions. Si ndio bro?
yeah,
You're telling us
yeah,
that we should not care
yeah,
about the government, but you can't get nothing without
yeah,
the government. You know that. So the reason why we are talking
yeah,
is to help these to make people understand exactly how powerful we are, you know, and how the government is supposed to be delivering to us. You get. So when you come to the
yeah,
space
yeah,
and take the mic and tell people that tuende tujifanyie vitu zetu, you know it's not workable. Okay? Be practical,
yeah,
brother.
yeah. So, yes. So what we can do on that of the MPs, because right now, if you were outside there, they are the key players to causing more problems in Kenya. So what we can do is get rid of those MPs, those very greedy people up there, so that. And how do we do this very easily? Like right now, if you have a friend, you can inform about something, provide information, and tell them these are the decisions that need to be made. Then you support them with the correct measures. As in providing information is like having to solve like 50% of the problem, because I understand when people don't have access to information, that is where we make wrong decisions. So as long as you have someone who you can inform and advise in the correct manner to make our decision, because if I compare as in compare myself from what from the interest I had the last time we were choosing people in elections, sikuwa so much interested, because I thought, why should I even struggle, because the outcome is always the same. But now, since I've learned from the mistakes, we should try as much as possible to provide even information to those people who cannot access the information. You start with even your family members who you know you can try and advise them. So that is what I think we can start by doing, because charity, I understand, begins at home. So thank you so much, Peter.
All right. Thank you, David. And I'd like just to say this. You ulikuwa umepotea kidogo, but I like the way you've gone to the end up heavy and said that we need to also work against removing these leaders. I don't want us to even think about it is due tuwaachie. Ukiwaachia bwana, watoto wako watakula nini? And it's clear that these guys are robbers. You see what Morara was doing? Morara is doing right now. He's just showing up at different locations. And when he shows up at that location, he finds out that ni placards ndo zimekuwa zikiprintiwa. This project has been launched by President Ruto. Now, I want to read a tweet here by Hussein Mohammed before I go to DK. Some gift DK will be now running it. A photo here by Morara. Morara had said Upper Kusi leaders were busy simping and praising Ruto like a lord. This is Matembe Marani Kegogi Nyaore Road, launched in 2016 by Uhuru, launched again Juicy when Ruto came to Kisii. Those leaders should stop playing with our minds. Which development did the president bring us to Kisii? The road, sasa hiyo ni jibu inatoka kutoka kwa Hussein Mohammed. Ndugu, stop misleading the Kenyans. The road crisscrosses Kitutu Chache North and South constituencies in Kisii and is 64.6 kilometers. The project was initially awarded on 11 May 2016 and works commenced on 5th 2016 after its launch by President Uhuru Kenyatta. But the contract was mutually terminated on 16th May 2023, 7 years on, due to the contractor's non-performance. At the time of termination, the contractor had completed 27 kilometers, with 77 months having lapsed out of the 30-month contract period. Kwani hatunanga auditors? The project was retendered and awarded on the 14th March of 2024, which works commencing on 22nd June 2024. William Ruto officially relaunched the newly awarded road contract, fulfilling his pledge to complete all stalled road projects. The contract period for the works is 42 months and a further maintenance period of 36 months. For your information, a project launch is often just a ceremonial event, and it sometimes occurs after works have already begun. Hence the phrase official launch. Don't overly concern yourself with plaques. You should go to Kegogi Sombogo Marani ETT section where works are ongoing. Today's photos on the ongoing work below. So that is what Hussein has reacted to that. Nani ameenda huyu jamaa? Sam. Aya, Mbugwa. how are you doing? Finally got you to the mic.
PP, thanks
Yes.
for the mic. Can I in a moment
Okay,
get
cool,
back?
cool. Okay, Kate
Please.
Karina, how are you doing, Kate? I've only had one lady since we started the show. Kate, hello. It was Kate Karina. Are you there? Unmute your microphone if you can hear me, Kate.
Yes, I am there.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yes.
Okay, not so well, obviously, because mambo vile iko. Nilikuwa nataka kusuggest something. I've always wanted to join a space to share something. I've been wondering, we all know where we carry out elections. Kila mtu anajua polling station yake. Is it possible to have weekly meetings where tuna collect signatures za kuimpeach? Kila mtu anajua shule public yenye iko karibu na yeye. Hata kama si polling station yako, but it is near where you live currently. Can we have weekly meetings? Kwa sababu mtu kama Morara already anajitolea on a personal level to go around and have this information. Sisi wenye tuko mtaani, maybe hauna fare, hauna kitu yoyote, lakini uko karibu na estate. You can easily walk to a school. Tupatane watu wengi. Whoever is there. Hata kama ni 2 hours. The agenda inakuwa nini? 1, collection of signatures to make sure impeachment inaendelea. Kuna process at least ina happen on the ground ya ku collect signatures. Second thing, kushare hii information tuna collect. Si kila mtu wako Twitter, especially watu wazee. Si wote wako Twitter. Is it possible hata hizo meetings tunaweka strictly 2 hours only, ndio isikuwe pia tuna attract makarao. 2 hours. The first thing unaingia kama unapea signature. The second agenda inakuwa kushare this information, the weekly information that we've collected. Kwa sababu si kila mtu tena anaweza join space, lakini najua watu mtaani wanaweza kuja. Unaweza kuwa uko na time, unaweza tembea kwa estate, shule iko hapo, usikize. Tuna spread information yote in reality, in numbers. Weka uko na tuchapato wako, print kitu yote unaweza print ya kushare hizo numbers. Ndio watu wajione realistically that this is what is happening kwa constituency yenyu ama kwa the country at large, such that there is continuous sharing of information online and on the ground. Online and on the ground. Na on the ground, utashika watu wengi atawatoi. Mtu kama tuseme alikuwa home na watoi wake atawabeba. Which means that the message of public participation is also being transmitted to our children wakiona tukifanyaga hizi mikutano. Unaona? So inakuwa ni killing two birds with one stone. That we are doing something currently for our own circumstances right now, but we are also showing our children the way forward. That kitu yote ina happening mtaani. Lazima ukue in control ya whatever, especially juu ya tax, juu unalipa tax. Maisha yako iko determine na vile tax yako inatumika. Can we also do that? Every Saturday ama tusasema every Friday evening, or whatever day tunasema ki estate wise. Kama unaishi wherever, najua kuna shule karibu na wewe. Tunaweza sema tu leo, kila mtu kule yuko, Saturday, amkieni kwanza shule. Whoever will come, imaanishi ati hakuna watu watakuwa naenda job, but mtu wowote atakuwa available hiyo day. Can we just go on a Saturday, the nearest school, hata mkwe watu 10, exchange ideas, print something. Watu 10 watarudi kwa estate, wataongea na maybe house helps wao, wataongea na neighbor wao, wataongea na nani. Every Saturday tukiamkia 1 hour ama 2 hours, kulingana tu na nyinyi vile mtaamua. By the time tunamaliza hata wiki 4, tutakuwa tumeagitate polisi, watajaribu kuanza kukaa mitaani, meaning tutakuwa na more power hata kuorganize something bigger, especially 2 things. 1, ya kuenda tao juu immigration, IDs lazima zitoke. Number 2, Adani deal tushaambiwa inaendelea. Can we also start thinking about Occupy JKI? Because JKI will kill all the birds at once. Do it paralyze kila kitu at the same time. Anyway, that was just maybe wishful thinking. That's all I've wanted to say kwa hizi spaces. Thank you.
Asante sana Kit. DK.
Yo.
Twende nalo. Nuite Mbugua.
Sure. 9 minutes to top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. Asante sana for being here, for every one of you who's been listening in. We are very happy to be back after a week-long break. Discussion leo ni simple. Tumeona zile vitu zenye zimekuwa zikiendelea. But we will try to have the finance bill and the relaunch of projects as some of the top things that we're talking about. Of course, if you have anything else that you'd like to highlight to us, maybe some things that you saw in the course of the week that you think you'd like also to mention, please feel free. And we go with it. I don't know, Mbogo, if you're back. Mbogo, you back, or should I just
No, I'm back, bro.
Excellent. How are you?
Thanks, PP. Thanks, DK. Anto, nakuona. Submission yangu.
Yes, sure. Please go on.
Watu. I swear we are not angry enough. I love the other day what these guys, was it in Moranga Makerenyaga? They did. When they stormed into the police station and then wakachukua waka break, they broke into the cell, picked that guy na wakamchomea hapo hapo. That is anger. Right now tunaweza piga kelele hapa tuongee sijui tuseme nini, but I'm sure I've listened to technically everyone everyone who's made the submissions here. Manze, we are not angry enough. I agree with Amerix aliposio kitu the other day. We are not angry enough. Walai ile siku tutakuwa angry enough, Ruto hata to contain. I swear. Why am I saying this? Again, I say this a few days ago. When was it? I think 2 days ago nikasema 80% of us wale tuko kwa hii space, mini millennial, not yet I'm in my late 30s, mini millennial, but shida yetu ni moja, tunaweza ongea, tunaweza potezeana wakati, because that's what we are doing. But in the real sense,
Mbogo, are you there? Mbogo? Mbogo, if you can hear me, I may ask you to refresh your mic. All right. If you can hear me, Mbogo, just refresh your mic. Request one more time. We'll get you to continue with your submission. I did, however, to want to pause, not to rush you or anything, but I want to maybe try get your point where you mean, especially ukisema kwa hizi spaces pia tunaweza kuwa kidogo tunasukumia na time kiasi. I'm trying to understand where you're going with that. But just come back and then you can finish your submission. Bwana Odongo, are you there? Odongo, good evening. Okay, I'll try. Please, if you can hear me, Odongo Mbogo, please just request your mics again. Guys, remember, discussion is on relaunch of projects, the finance bill, and any other few of the things that you think we should put a highlight on. Before I go back to some of the speakers you have, maybe let me just recognize some of the people that we have listening in right now. I can see Mama JD, Magdalene, I can see Timothy B, I can see Judy Karaoke. Asanteni sana for being here. I see Nor, Ismail Kiwa, Ismail Kiwa, Samuel, I see Brian, I see let's see, I see Kavuo, I see there's so many of you who are listening in, and asanteni sana for being here. JM Karaoke, Zeke, I see Miss Kihara, I see Roll G, I see Grace. Asanteni sana. J Shiko, asante for being here as well. Maybe I'll try Odongo one more time, see if he's here. If not, we will go to Ian. So gravity. Odongo, good evening.
Good evening. Just give me like 5 minutes. I am serving customers here. I'll talk later.
All right, Sawa. Thank you for that. Nkorogo, Ian, so creative. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Salama sana. Tell us what you're thinking as far as COVID goes.
I'll echo what Mbugo was trying to say. I think hapa kwa space we are very good orators, lakini pale kwa ground ndio kizungumkuti, because we are very mad here on the spaces, but after the first what we did on the streets the first time was the one that really the Occupy Parliament was the one that really would have brought the point home if at the end of the day we were not infiltrated by outsiders. But as he was saying, I think we were mad, then we became complacent. We became complacent. We were willing to listen to what this guy had to tell us. We were willing actually to give him an ear, and we know he was just going to bullshit us. So I think it's just time there's a lady who has said about going and collecting signatures, a very good idea. I think it's time we just woke up and smell the coffee, and we realize the government is not our friend. We have to change the whole narrative. We have to tell them it's time they went home. If they don't have to finish their term, we are their employers. We pay them. It's time. It's time they just go home. We shall figure out. God is on our side. God shall not let us fall down. So I think if you are serious enough, if we could be serious enough just for a few moments and we become patient, because these things they take a process. They need patience. We will have a few people tend to confuse the whole agenda, but if you become focused in what we are doing, I think we shall drive the point home. Our children shall be saved. Also, our future shall be saved. We shall have we shall have things the way we want and the way they're supposed to be. Asante sana.
Thank you so much for that. I see Mbugwa ameinua mkono juu tena. Mbugwa.
So thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Anto. You alerted me. I was basically saying that, Manze, to jam. To jam. Unaona hii kitu tunaita civic education, with all due respect to Morara and everyone who's doing who've taken it up to themselves to do the civic education and all that. But Mimi, I still maintain that civic education is the pain that is being injected into your life. Hiyo ndio motivation inafaa kukupeleka kwa street. Otherwise, right now, I've been going to the street. I've been there. And that's why I was saying 80% of you guys who are here, you're all talk. You're all talk. You're all rubbish. 80% of you guys. 80%, probably even more. So, tutaishi hapa? Pipi, tutaishi hapa?
Kwa
Anto,
bundles
tutaishi hapa?
zetu baba unatuita shit. Kwa bundles zetu kabisa Mbugwa.
Tutaishi hapa? Tutaishi tukibonga ati tuende kwa streets hapana. Listen. Adani washapata deal. Story ilianza last week.
Washa get.
Deal ilifanyika. Hii deal ilipigwa when Murkomen alikuwa transport. Si sahi, that's why he's back. You want to tell me that haujui hata
Hiyo najua niliambiwa, let me just be straight there. Kuna jamaa anaitwa Adani. Hiyo kampuni yao si nimeona iko under review in India for same dealings zenye najaribu kufanya hapa Kenya.
Nitakutumia links ukiangalia, if you check, if you just take your time and take a look at Adani's, would understand why we are why Ruto is Ruto is having us in all ways. In all ways anatupiga nyuma na anatupiga mbele. Tuta understand kwa nini sisi ni wajinga. We are still not angry enough. When we are angry enough, Ruto anatoka kesho.
Haya, you've heard from the gentleman. It's 3 minutes past 6 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Hey, kwani kumeanza?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spaces where we give you your drive and also those who are going to work. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hapa hivi kwenye Home Run with Pipi. Come to you each and every weekday from Monday from 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. And of course, I've just come back from my sabbatical, and I also had a family emergency that I was handling. So thank you for here with us today. Today we are discussing the finance bill. Kwenye alikuwa ameweka deputy anajipromote anakuwa senior. And of course, contractors are getting contracts, and like that one who did a project in 7 years, nothing happened to him. So that is what I'd like to hear about. And of course, I'd like to say that spaces are an alternative form of media. And the best part of it is we offer non-music entertainment and also conversations. So here we give you a chance, as many people as possible, to converse with us and tell us what is going on their side, and of course what their thoughts are on this. And that is why we rarely experts here is to say their thoughts. Tuone akili zao pia zimefika wapi. Now, having said that, I'd like to say Home Run PP is supported by you, the listener, 100%. If you like what I'm doing, 0721 948 229 is the tip jar line for you to support the show. My name is MC Peter. Welcome to the second hour of conversation hapa kwenye Home Run.
Conversations, engaging topics on your phone anywhere. This is Home Run with Pipi.
Daktari Nimrod, habari yako? Dr.
Vipi
Poa
Pipita?
sana bana.
Vipi Pipita bro? Vipi
Niko
bro?
poa.
Niko shughuli mbaya sana. Yeah. Good evening guys. Good. Habari wananchi. You guys, it's been long. It's been a while. I don't know what to say. There's a Mbugua. Mbugua just came out, and he just kind of he said something which I've been has been running in my mind for a while, and this is the problem. You see, and I kind of kept on giving you guys an example of what is happening, but you kept on ignoring it, and that's the problem with Kenyans. We kind of difficult in setting our differences aside and coming together and actually working together as a team. This job is very easy. The guy has given us all the ammunition. Ruto has given us all the ammunition, and that's why that Bugua guy, and you're pointing it out, this Morara guy, he's taking it upon himself. That's one individual. That's one individual doing what he's doing. Now imagine if Kenyans set aside their differences because there's so much some of us put into this initially, and then I cannot sit here and say I'll be disappointed. No, I wasn't disappointed because I could see it coming. But then everything has to evolve for people to understand why certain things take certain perspective to actually come to a fruition or actualization. And the thing is, Pipita, I say again, and I mentioned you, and I've seen Anthony also is on this festival. I've seen him down there. And anybody else who's been on this journey from before 25th to where we are today. Guys, there's a lot of support out here. A lot of support. People are willing to put their all, some even are willing to set aside their career and just come and do something. Be part of something that is going to formulate a future for who we are as a people. But the problem is, Kenyans, we can't set our differences aside and work as a team. We can't set our differences aside, and that's where the problem comes in. And that's why these guys, the political class and the elite, have managed to divide us to this day. After what happened on 25th, they managed to actually divide us. It is sad, but because it's something which I've done my researches and learned a lot and followed through different countries around the world. And I won't lie to you, the biggest hindrance with Kenya and Africans is our tribal lineage. And also, we kind of find it difficult to set our differences aside and actually work for common goal. Because everyone has to put in their say, or everyone wants to be seen, everyone has their own intentions, or there's something behind it. Tribe, maybe position, maybe, whatever you want to call it. And that's the reality, the bottom line. And that's why Mbugua said 80%, probably 80%. You ask me, I would say 100%. I will even go to 110% to be brutal. But we have to be honest with ourselves before we can go out there and deal with what we're dealing with. And this is why I will come back to you, Pepita, again. Can you please, I'm begging you, because you're doing what you're doing, and I appreciate that. Same thing with Kenya, same thing with these other guys. I've been on all the spaces. You guys, you need to first of all set a group amongst yourselves. Come together. And then formulate a space here where every Kenyan, and then you realize not only me, you get even people who have got more experience than me coming onto spaces, because it's structured. It's something which people can work with. And there you find it easy people to put their resources, people to put their careers, their life on the line, because they know the unity which is in there, if it's translated into the ground, think the impact it can have. And that's why people are saying, you keep on saying, you're not angry enough. No, because the anger hasn't been spread enough. The anger is on next space. It's not out there. You understand? You go to the ground, saizi ukienda Mombasa, ukienda Kisii kule kwa Oparanya. I've been watching these videos. And it's sad. The people who are making noise, you look at the lifestyle and what the living conditions and the areas, the schools their kids go to, the hospital they're meant to go to. The other day, there's a clip on X I saw. In Kisii, they were transporting a sick person with a blanket through Vichochoro because there's no kind of what you call it, there's no infrastructure, roads to actually transport a Kenyan in this day and age. If that's not anger enough, before that, if you remember a few years ago, before, I think it was the time ya Uhuru, kuna mama alizaa nje, Mama Lucy, is it Lucy Kibaki Hospital? Hapo nje, in front of her hospital, she gave birth and nobody kind of came to her help. If that was not anger enough, those are the images which we need to be replaying to actually show the reality on the ground. And that's what Morara is doing. But Morara is just one person. And I've been asking, guys, you guys on X, can you just get together? Set your differences aside. Come
Thank
together.
you, thank you,
So,
thank you.
Miletsan, thank you, sir. Thank you. With that submission, Papita, thanks a lot for the time, man. I will always be here. I'm ready to
Right.
go anytime.
Thank you, Nimrod. Thank you, Nimrod, for that. I was not the one who was speaking though, but all right. Thank you for that and also your suggestion. I feel like we have the unity of purpose, and we just want to. We will keep on growing and also trying to put people to talk about whatever is going on. And I know it's a big responsibility to be a space host, so I don't take it for granted as well. I see Odongo and Bugwa has hands up, but I want to hear from the real Joe first, and then I'll go back to Odongo and Mbugwa. The real Joe. Thank you so much, Faith, for that tip. If you like what you're doing, of course, there's a tip line to support the show. How are you doing, Joe?
Thank you very much, Pipita. Welcome back to the space.
Asante sana.
Anyway, what I want to say is just a few things. I didn't want really actually to. I just wanted to listen, but I just had a few sentiments that I just felt like maybe I should also throw in some of my ideas in. Number one, I had Kate. If I am very right, Kate talked about something that I mentioned last week when I was traveling. I was traveling to one of the spaces, but also I had one of the guys talk about the act that is going to be that is being introduced in Parliament that wants to regulate demonstrations. So that's what I want to start with first. So there's that act that is supposed to come and regulate demonstrations. And this is because demonstrations are one of the very most effective ways of sending strong messages. And we've seen that, and it has worked for us. And therefore, that is something that is one thing that can be used against us completely, because that's the only tool that we have used effectively and has been able to work for us. But a few things we should also note that public, as per Article 37, the assembly and the picketing is not just sometimes demonstration. And this is why I come also to what Kate said. I feel, and from the discussions I've had with some of these people, we have been given there's a way we have been branded as a movement. We have been branded as our very sole philosophy of leaderless, partyless, faceless. We have even been added some formless and things like that has been used against us. And it has been used against us in this way, and is currently being used against us. You've seen the president as the muscles of going around the country to decode our message. He's not going around the country for any other thing. He's going around the country to reduce the heat that we are the ones who have applied on him. So he himself can go around the country and do that. Same to politicians. Politicians can have the muscles to do that. Kina Kalonzo can always host rallies and things like that. Those things are very effective in shaping public opinion. And you've seen that. Guys, you've been able to see what public opinion can do. You've seen what Morara is doing, and you can see that just that can also shape public opinion. But in our own philosophy of being leaderless, we are not able to shape public opinion more often other than maybe producing skits and videos on social media and things like that. And therefore, one of the ideas, because you see, we are in a war. In a war, at some point, you need to have more than one multiple war front. You need to also use tactics, more than one tactic. For those guys who are following the war in Ukraine, you can see Ukraine is going to attack Russia inside Russia so that they can have a bargaining power, so that they can hope to use the territory they have gained to negotiate their own territory that has been taken from them. We can also open multiple war fronts. From what Kate said, we can start having our own assembly, not picketing, just assembling everywhere. We can just start watu wa Ngong Road wanajiassemble tu kila siku jioni, and you just have your own discussions. You can even do spaces from the ground. Watu wa wapi, people just have their own discussions like that, and it becomes a movement on its own, whereby every evening from 4, at least you'll find, hata kama people start fighting.
Joe. Looks like we've lost Joe. Joe. Can you hear me, Odongo? Allah, is it me or them? Mbogwa?
I can hear you.
Oh, I guess Odongo and
Even me, I can hear you.
I think Joe amepotea.
I want to Joe, please, guys. We can start assembling wherever. If it's assembling wherever, we're assembling wherever to occupy everywhere. Kama mmeattend maandamano zote, or rather most of them, manze, you'll understand what it means. These guys have do not have any regard for Article 37 of the Constitution, that we can assemble to picket. They have total disregard for that. My point, sahi tunafaa occupy everywhere. JKIA occupy huko. Unaishi Kitui, occupy huko. Wayaki Way, occupy. Thika Road, occupy. Everywhere, make it hard for them. That is my submission.
Thank you for that. Anthony, I saw your hand was in the air.
Yeah, there are people. You know, but the more you listen to people, the more you hear what they are saying. And as a person who has been a co-host and I started hosting my own space, Kenyans are saying one thing, that they keep on saying, if you guys can come together, it makes some sense. Why does it? They always say it makes some sense. We must work. Anything that is effective works like a government or a kingdom. You can have regionals, where you say Pipita is the king, is the host of Society Pipita. There are people who associate with Society Pipita. And there are people who associate with Society Afrocentric and Society Anthony. All of us speak to people in a language that makes those people kind of associate with us. But these people are saying, now we want all of you to have one regional command. So that when we want to go and achieve something, like we want to do a mandamano, like Mbugo is saying, that regional command gives us one voice that is a collective of all these other regions. And I believe, and it's something personally, I'll be very frank with everyone here, it's something personally I'm working on. I've been able to bring a few people together. And today, Pipita, when I hosted a space, someone said, what if you guys write a kind of constitution, a memorandum of some sort? And someone said, I'm on it. That memorandum will host and take into cooperation everything that is being said on these spaces. What are Kenyans saying? Then we shall have that document and tell Kenyans, this is what you're saying, and this is how we want it implemented. For instance, when you say, someone is here is saying that the Kenyan Parliament wants to write a law against people agitating, like what we call mandamano in Kiswahili. I mean, you can't do that. You can't tell people how to do their mandamanos. That happens in countries like China and Japan, where democracy is not the order of the day. So those are the things that we should take into account, and we are a voice. But Kenyans are saying,
no, Anto,
can you package?
Anto, allow me, please.
Yeah,
You're
please.
missing my point. It's like I'm sorry to interject. You ni kama
No
nakachukua
worries.
dem yako ama bibi yako. Do you think you will go back to the elders at the place Rorashio Mdienda?
So Mbogwa,
You
how do
will
we
go there.
communicate
You
to
will
the
deal
people
with
in
deal
Kisumu?
with me.
Okay, just explain what you're saying. How do we have this effective mandamano for you? How do we make it effective?
It has to be rogue. We have to play outside the constitution because that's what they've shown us. We have to be rogue. That's what I'm saying.
And then I have
Okay,
something
Mbogwa,
to
because I
point
got
out.
what you're saying.
Just a minute, Anthony. I want to point out something. I want to bring back Uncle Rojas because I said hapa hivi kwa show yetu tunaongea mambo na facts. Hii ni kama yule brother yangu wa nani? Brother yangu wa huko hivi upande wa pili anasemanga kwamba system ya facts. Uncle Roja, what is that bill about assemblies? Because I'm seeing in your comment section saying there's this speaker who just stated that the assembling in our local area. Please understand that the proposed assemblies and demos bill proposes to have such assemblies outlawed. We can't have them without giving a 3 days notice to the police, lest to discharge the 100K. Charles JB saying speakers should leave emotion aside. A country must lawfully run. There is no way the government can generate money without bills taken to parliament. Then to the people, then into law. Do not oppose for the sake, wait and read the proposal, then take the next action. That is Charles JB writing on the comment section. Charles Asewa, give concrete ways how the government should generate money. Any government you put in place, whether now or later in 2027, bills have to be generated to parliament and to the people. Otherwise, I fear that we are losing focus on how Kenya, to make Kenya better. That is a submission from the Ken Carter himself and Ajita Charles JB. Yes, you're listening to Home Run PP. I want to go back to Anto. I think I got you short, but before that, let me hear from Uncle Roger. What can you break it down in like 5 minutes? How this bill, what this bill is about, and keeping in mind that we have what we call. We have that article 37 that gives us the right to go out and demonstrate. So is it a direct attack on article 37? I'd like to hear. Shout out to Jay Shiko. I see you in the building. I hope you're doing well. Uncle Roger. Looks like Roger is not here. Roger, unmute your mic. And of course, the people of the world of spaces have decided that my co-hosts should not come to the mic. Hey, DK has been waiting for me for the whole week, and then now, when the time is here, he's nowhere to be seen. They have taken him. Hey, Uncle Roger is not coming to the mic. But yes, Anthony, when you're also talking to people and advising them, remember there's also that bill. So what do we do about that bill? It was in the news today, in the papers. Uncle Roger. Sijui kama Roger ananisikia ama anaongea. Anto, unamsikia? Let me wacha to request the microphone again, Uncle, to talk to us. So, the real Joe, why is your hand in the air? Real Joe, unmute.
Basically, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to discuss more about the demonstration act that is being pushed in Parliament vis-a-vis Article 37 and the provisions. When you read Article 37, you must also keep tabs with Article 24. So this act is supposed to come and limit a few things and bring in a few things. Okay, Article 37 talks about the rights of picketing, of assembly, picketing, and presenting petitions. Okay? Assembly, picketing, and presenting petitions. So there's three elements there. There's assembly, there's picketing, and there's presentation of petitions. Before you read these articles blindly, and I'm using the term blindly, you need to also get down to the history of our country in terms of assembly and picketing. Do you know there's a time that you are not allowed to be in a group of 5 people? Okay? And that is why the framers of the Constitution came up with the term assembly. It was only churches that people used to assemble. And if yesterday you guys read through the assassination story that was going yesterday by Ahemba, you could have seen that already. You could have read some few elements from that in terms of assembly. So there are 3 things that I was just trying to mention. 3 things. We have assembly, we have picketing, and we have presentations of petitions. Do you know that going to a public rally, the way our politicians go to public rallies these days, that is assembly? And it is not allowed early campaigns. If you look at the electoral laws, politicians are not allowed to go for early campaigns, but they call those assemblies. They are going to assemblies and have assemblies and have direct conversations with citizens. They use the term assembly. Okay? And therefore, we need also to understand that. Then there's picketing, which is now demonstration. And just from a basic English definition of picketing is just, I think the word even picketing came across during the eras of labor, where workers used to demonstrate against what and things like that. So picketing is the one that we go to the street to picket and make noise and do that and cause civil disobedience. So if you look at this act that is coming in, it is coming to limit a few things. They want us, first of all, to notify in not less than 24 days that you are going to picket. They also want to introduce even things that organizers of these picketings must also agree to even incur some costs, including even cleaning after the protest, cleaning of the streets and things like that, with this act. So you guys need to go through this act vizuri sana. So those are some of the limitations that they want to bring. And also they want to bring in an element whereby when people are demonstrating, normal businesses are going on within Nairobi CBD. So so they want to just water down the protests completely. And that a protest cannot be that way. Picketing, that even beats the entire logic of picketing. So picketing is part of civil disobedience. When civilians go out and ensure that nothing is working on that particular day, that is their way of picketing. And also another thing that we need to take in and we need to keep in mind is, how have our protests been that we can say they have never been peaceful? Protests have always been peaceful, but it has always been taken as people antagonizing.
So what do we do? What's the way forward, bro? What's the way forward?
I'm trying to get, first of all, we need to understand these 3 terms. I want to understand picketing, assembly, and demonstrating.
So picketing, assembly, and presentation of petition.
Yes. Now, can you tell us what is happening now, what rights we have now, and what this bill is looking to curb? Maybe that is what Mbuga is being impatient about.
Okay, what we currently have as provisions of Article 37, we are allowed to picket, assemble, picket, and present petitions to authorities. Okay, and if you read Article 34 about limiting these rights, Article 34 requires that if you want to limit these rights, either it is presented via you file a petition and things like that to the court, and it is heard and things like that. The courts have been hearing the cases against protest several times, and some of them you've heard.
I'm banging my table, and I'm tired of banging my table. Please allow me to say this. Kibaki in 2002, when he became the president, he allowed us all these liberties. Anto, you can bear me witness. I think I submit. You were there when I made this submission. Kibaki. Kibaki in his
Kibaki did, because
entire
he was,
term
yes.
ruled this. No. Listen to me. In his entire term, he ruled this country from 2002 to 2010 with the old constitution, Moi's constitution. 2010.
But Mbugua, just allow him to
we
finish, because
Let him
people
land,
will compare
Mbugua. In my
Kibaki to
show,
Tutu.
people land, Mbugua. If you have something to say, you will come after him. Don't. The only person with the right to interject on my show is me. The rest can wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Let's have a chain of conversation here. If you have a burning point, you can raise your hand. Real Joe, continue.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get a range with him, so kindly let me engage Joe. I'm the one who asked him. Joe, continue.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So basically, Mbugo, I've understood the concept you're bringing in. So I wish you could have just continued listening to me and get this. Kibaki is as a result of protests, and he could never. It was a new dawn in our country when Kibaki was elected, and you realize that everybody was in the side of Kibaki had before initially either led protests and things like that, and therefore they felt like that was a right, even without the constitutional mandate, that was a right to Kenyans, and therefore that is why he left that. But we need to understand protests, assemblies, and presentation of petitions, because our protests usually ends at protests. If you look at it keenly, only maybe people who are in the law domain will always maybe try and present petitions and things like that. If you look at the way we do things, like right now, we can present petitions we can present as many petitions as possible to recall the current CSS. We can present petitions and do all those kind of things. Okay, we can sue the states. We can do all that. People have not been doing that. We have not been doing that. Right now, if 1 million Kenyans go to courts and just sue the government for particular things, that has never been done. It is only just a few people, the political class maybe, that always go to court to get some clarifications on things that are an interest to them. Right now, even us as citizens, we can try and start sponsoring cases to court. And I was saying this because I am part of Kamukunji, the Thursday Kamukunji that we have in Jivanji every Thursday. I'm always there. I see every Thursday. I see kina nani this anaitwa nani Kasmuel and the other boy. These things, I will tell you what. I'll tell you how effective these things are. Let alone yenye kina Kasmuel wamekuwa wakifanya, where they take videos. There's some of us, we don't really need to take videos. Me, as long as people get my point, that is important for me. So every time to that Kamukunji, you'll realize that we presented a petition to the International of Justice against the demonstration in 2023, where 75 young youths were killed, and there's an active case against the state. Okay? There's an active case against the state. What I'm trying to imply is this. We need to apply all these three in hand, because the government always knows, tukisema demonstrations, we will go to the street, make noise, come back home. Did we present petitions anywhere? We never present petitions. Did we, and things like that. When I talked about assembly, when we start, the politicians use this as a right to assembly more than we do, because they host rallies in the name of assemblies. We can start our own individual assemblies. That's what I was talking about. 10 people, 20 people kwa mamta, kila mahali. That is part of protest, by the way. That can be seen as protest. If people can realize that, if the government can realize that leo mamta zote, watu wa Thika Road wako na assembly, watu wa Wapi wako na assembly, watu wa Wapi wako na assembly, and we have all this going on as a national conversation, that can shape public opinion. And if we are presenting petitions all the time and filing lawsuits against some of these things, we cannot just come and make noise here. This is unconstitutional. We need to also, as we make noise, before we go and protest, we need to ensure there's an ongoing case. And I like what these other guys are doing. There's a guy here I've seen, every time he's suing the government, as I've seen he started doing that. And I really like that. Right now, if we can present...
Can I ask Real Joe a question, please?
Just let him land, Bugwa, for a minute. I'm trying to get his chain of thought. You can raise your, you can come right after that.
Right.
Yeah, and
Unless
and
it's a
also
fact check.
and when I'm landing, because I'm seeing he's burning to maybe talk, I'll give him time. So when I'm as I land, just to mention what he said about Kibaki regime who protested previously. So he allowed protests in his regime, but Kibaki disallowed protest after 2007 when people were now demonstrating, and it was now against him this time round, and against the elections of 2007. And Kibaki now decided now protests were illegal. So you see, the political class will always shape the public opinion based on their interests. So some of these things we need to analyze them also historically. Thank you very much. Let me let you speak.
I'm seeing Anto is also burning to speak. Real Joe,
Who
thanks.
should go first? Mbogwa or me?
Let Mbogwa go because Mbogwa has been on our case, bwana.
Yeah.
Yo, my tag to
Mbogwa go.
unmute. Mbogwa, you had a question?
Thank you. Yeah, of course. To Real Joe.
He's here. Let's hear it.
What's the way forward, bro? What's the way forward? Sahi, tunataka solutions. What's the way forward, bro?
Okay, I think you think the Real Joe, do you have an answer for that? The way forward? Okay, while we're at it, ladies and gentlemen, this is Home Run PP, 38 minutes past 6 p.m. East African time. That's factual. And when somebody is speaking on Home Run with PP, you do not unmute your mic unless you are spoken to. And of course, there is always a chance for you to rebuttal. So, the Real Joe, what is the way forward if you would like to answer Mbuga?
The way forward, naona ni heri tuendelee kwa hii maandamano tu. We should just demonstrate. Unajua hata mimi sasa niko Nandi County na huu Ruto amekuwa huko hivi. Manze bado anaendelea kujenga vile vikaburi venye Morara anaka naongeleanga kwa page yake. So manze, we just need to continue demonstrating. I don't know demonstration itakuwa when. Hata mimi I wish ningekuwa Nairobi for now.
Aya, asante Benson. Benson ameamua to take the law by his hand. Anthony.
Yeah, PP. Like you said, Real Joe.
Nearly drop. Sorry, I'll just mute. But nearly drop. I was trying to say I nearly drop.
Okay, Real Joe. Nimeshika kitu umesema. Let's say you want to do maandamano. The language you use is what matters. So, tuseme mwanasiasa akikuja place, anasemanga amekuja citizen assembly. Like when, let's say you are driving and the president says, people blocked my way. Akwangi ameitisha your permit. So that is not a mandate. You ask for a citizen assembly.
Exactly.
Let's say you want to engage people.
I think the problem is diction, Anthony. Diction, choice of word.
Exactly.
But Joe,
choice of
Mbogwa, nyinyi wote tuko in the same line. We are talking about the same thing.
Exactly.
So to circumvent the law, it depends on which language you are wording. So tunasema leo tuseme tunakuja maandamano Nairobi, tunakuja citizen assembly.
Tunakuja citizen assembly. Hakuna maandamano, tunakuja assembly.
Nice.
Yes. Nice. Now, my second one was to answer something Pipita alisoma kwa comments. We are not saying Kenyans not to pay taxes. We are not saying Kenyans not to give government money. What Kenyans are saying is we want a say in what we pay, and we also want a say on how it is used. So hakuna Mkenya amesema finance bill isitengenezwe. Wakenya wanasema hii finance bill it take into account our views and our opinions. That's what Kenyans are asking for. No one is saying gava isilipwe. We are not that daft.
Okay. Now I want to hear from Zalendo. Mbogwa, your insurrection has been noted here. One of the listeners is saying I should be serious with you. So kindly, I hope that is not going to be happening again. Now, kuna kitu imehappen history addiction imenibamba sana. So there is this post Hussein Mohammed had posted. Akasema stop misinformation, misleading people. And then Najma, the girl that handles press in State House, quotes the same tweet. Akaandika eti, stop misleading people. And people misread the tweet and thought that she was against Nani Hussein. So I'm seeing Najma has already recanted her words. Bro, it's a movie shop out here. It's a movie shop. Mzalendo, I know you have presented a petition with regards to this demonstration bill. Could you talk to us about that, Mzalendo?
PP, first, thank you so much. I want to correct Anthony somewhere. Anthony is saying that we are not against the finance bill. Once a bill has been withdrawn without further reservations to Parliament, a new bill cannot be introduced in the same name. What the law provides for, the only thing that the government can do now is to introduce a tax amendment bill. That is what the law provides. A tax amendment bill to collect more revenue, and all of us can bear. You remember during the COVID-19, sometimes in 2020, when the government wanted to question Kenyans, the president could not introduce a bill, nor the government could not introduce a bill in Parliament to question Kenyans. What they did, they introduced a tax amendment bill to help them collect more revenue so as to question Kenyans. So right now, at this juncture, introducing the finance bill is unconstitutional and illegal. That is it. The baseline is the only thing they can do is one, introduce a tax amendment bill. And if they can't introduce a tax amendment bill, is to cut on the expenditure of the government ili hiyo 346 billion wasiitumie. Isitumike. They only have two options. Either watukandamize zaidi, walete tax amendment bill, introduce more taxes, or wakat their expenditure, wakati expenditure president, wakati expenditure counties, ili kubridge hiyo gap ya 346 billion. But introducing a new finance bill, wakijaribu tu kuleta hivi, hiyo tayari ni kukimbizana na wao mbio sana, because hawawezi tubeba ufala hivyo. The law does not provide for that. And although the only thing the president could have done on 26th, when he was confused and under pressure, he would have said, I've refused to assent to the bill and will take it back to Parliament. Lakini alisema, I have withdrawn. Alisema, the finance bill 2024 is hereby withdrawn in totality. The words of Baba Shalin. Now, there was something that was said about hosting of you guys who host us to come together. And a contributor said ya kwamba people should have his people and a hold space. Mwingine kuna watu wake ana hold space. I think that one, in my opinion, I'm not opposing that proposal, but in my opinion, I see that one might divide us further. Me, what I would propose, if we agree that on Mondays it is PP who is hosting people, what akina Kimuzi, akina Andrew Kibe, akina Anthony, akina akina Wanyama wote wanakuja kwa hiyo space, wanakuja na followers wao. Pipi akishasema he will host a topic this, Wanyama ana retweet, anawaambia tupate nini kwa space ya Pipi. Tuesday tunasema it is Anthony who is hosting us. Pipi anaturetweetia sisi sote tunaenda space ya Anthony on Tuesday. Wednesday ni tani ya KOT. Watu wote Pipi, Afrocentric, Wanyama, Anthony wote na followers wake tunaenda hiyo space ya nani? Space ya KOT. I think that is the best way for us to show that we are united and we are one. Lakini kila mtu akihost a regional space, it could be dangerous and it could be a deadly mission for this movement. Number 3, I was talking about the petition. I have done 2 petitions. One I have done in conjunction with the farmers of the Mangbin bill. Ile wanaita Dengu bill. Hii ililetwa na Senator Wambua. The bill is punitive. Ukiangalia watu wanataka wachukue license. The bill is actually contrary to the Food Crop Parliamentary Act. It is no longer a bill, it is an act because the parliament enacted it and it was adopted. And in that Food Crop Act, dengu has been classified as a legume under the family of P. In class B. So dengu is a food crop. Na anasema this act can be cited when mentioning all food crops. So when Senator Wambua brings his bill, he's contravening what Parliament passed in the food crop amendment bill that was passed in Parliament. Like for example, the other act, the Food Crop Act, inasema every grower shall register with the Growers Association. Then the Growers Association shall register with an authority, either county government authority or the national authority. But now Senator Wambua wants every grower to register. Every grower, na anasema kwa definition yake, a grower is anybody mwenye anapanda in small scale ama large scale. Sasa surely, Pipi, if you ask Senator Wambua, I am growing my dengu in an eighth of an acre. Do I need to go to the county government to register ya kwamba nimepanda dengu in an eighth of an acre yangu ya kukula? So that is actually contravening that law. Then that other act says ya kwamba the Growers Association, grower akishaenda kuregister na Growers Association wana make agreement ya kwamba mimi nimepanda dengu yangu ya kukula. Then sasa the Growers Association in update county government that we have somebody by the name Anthony ama we have somebody by the name Real Joe amepanda dengu ni yake ya kukula tu. Ingine yenye huyo Senator Wambua anajaribu kufanya, if you read the Food Crops Amendment Bill, ile yenye walipitisha, inasema ya kwamba licensing by the authority is supposed to be done to a large scale farmer, is supposed to be done to an importer, an exporter, and also a marketing agent and a warehouse. Hapo ndio licensing unachukua license sasa. Lakini Senator Wambua anasema any person. Who is this person Senator Wambua is referring to? This any person could be Dr. Nimrod, who is only growing small amount of dengu. So I think Senator Wambua, having come from a place where dengu is grown, anataka to take advantage of these farmers ili awanyanyase. So that bill has been signed by a farmer, a consumer with a disability, because when you introduce such acts, inamaanisha consumer will also be affected. So kama saizi wanabai dengu na 180 kilo moja, Inamaanisha hizi vitu zote Senator Wambua anajaribu kuintroduce, it means by if the bill is passed, then sisi sote tutaanza kununua dengu ikiwa expensive. So hiyo bill imesainiwa na a consumer with a disability, imesainiwa na farmer na imesainiwa na a trader. So we will actually submit it either tomorrow or Wednesday. Then about finance, the introduction of finance bill, I won't talk too much about it because it is still being drafted. Tulipatia kenye tuliandika, tumepatia an advocate by the name Ndengwa. He's checking it. So maybe about that PP, you might allow me to say what we have done on Wednesday. But currently what is ready is the petition to delete some clauses and regulations in the Mangbin Bill 2022. That is how the bill has been quoted. Mangbin Bill 2022. And in that petition, we are also asking Senator Wambua, Mangbin is also known as green gram and also known as dengue. Why did he has to go for a name that is not even familiar with Kenyans, a name that is very familiar with Ugandans? What was his intention? His intention was to conceal what Parliament is doing, or to conceal what Senate was doing to Kenyans who only know dengue as dengue or dengue as green gram, because the name Mangbin inatumika sana sana Uganda. So what was Senator Wambua trying to conceal wakati ali introduce he bill? Because kwa bill yake anasema Mangbin or as botanically known as. Mbona kusema Mangbin also known as green gram, ndengu or dengu? Kumaanisha there was something he was trying to conceal. So we are also questioning him. Why did he introduce a Ugandan, though it is an English name, but not very familiar with the Kenyan society? In Kenya, we know it as green gram or dengu, as simple as that. So that petition is ready. We'll submit it either tomorrow or Wednesday. But here, finance bill, tunaweza ongelelea Wednesday, because here kuna ya finance bill na kuna ile introducing tolls in our roads. Introducing tolls in our roads, though hiyo tulisimamisha because a court sitting in Malindi has already declared it unconstitutional and illegal. So tumeisimamisha kidogo because tulipoanza hivi a court in Malindi ilikaa ikasema ya kwamba hairuhusiwi barabara ambayo imesha, like if you look at Thika Road is loan free. So when you introduce such tolls in a road that is loan free, what is your intentions? Because if you are saying that you want to introduce, you want Kenyans to pay road maintenance levy, they are already paying it when they are going to fuel their cars, because there is a levy that is known as road maintenance levy when you fuel your car. So why do you want them to pay double? So I think that was the basis that the court used to tell hawa watu wa Kenya hiyo kitu wanafanya hairuhusiwi. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that, Mzalendo. I have seen a guy called Riek Jr. And I also like the fact that you are doing your part in the way you are. I'd like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment in time, everybody needs to do their part. Their part is Morara Kebaso is on the streets looking to check the matters in terms of hiyo barabara zinajengwa vipi, nani zile projects zilikuwa launch zinajengwa aje. That is a very good side, but Morara cannot do it alone. You have a phone, you have a camera, go to the street yourself and find those projects that have been launched and relaunched and let us have them. Do not wait for people to work for you. Hiyo ndo shida wa Kenya. Mnasema acha di retweet na unapita barabara ililaunchiwa na ikumalizwa. Okay, so I advise that when you get out there also you play your part. Yeah, ukifika pale hivi kama ni kwa ukifika kwa matatu kama venye Oeba the poet is doing, fanya kazi yako, fanya side yako. And also to say that Home Run with PP is not a maandamano spaces. Okay? Home Run with People is not a maandamano spaces, ladies and gentlemen. These spaces have been running for the past 1 year. Okay? So, in as much as we would like to also collaborate with other space hosts, there is also a set, what we call a set guidelines of the way we have structured our show. So we are, in as much as we are hearing you, and I would like to read that through a comment so that I can make it make sense. That is a comment from Real Joe. Real Joe Asema, MC Pipita has been hosting Home Run with his own weekly agenda, so we can't unify that with spaces that started for purposes of just this movement. The only thing is people these days talking more on current occurrences in our country in regards to this movement. Thank you so much, Joe, for clarifying that. And of course, my co-host has decided that today I will work alone, and the network has also made sure of that. But we will still go on, ladies and gentlemen. Home Run with PP comes to you every weekday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time. If you like what I'm doing, there is a tip line for you to drop your support there. 0721948229. Name Anthony Boke. Ladies and gentlemen, so this Mang Bin thing has reminded me that kumbe hata tujuangi majina. Mimi hata ungeniuliza Mang Bin, will you have Mang Bin for lunch? I would not know. Riek Jr., have you ever had Mang Bin? Kama Riek, unmute your mic, Riek. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes to the top of the hour. This is Home Run Pipi. Riek, wewe uko wapi? Riek ananibamba sana. Okay, Riek, while we are trying to connect with Riek, ladies and gentlemen, I'm waiting to see what is going on. Yeah, I'm just listening, guys. I want to hear what you have to talk to us about all this. The finance bill is back, not as the finance bill. John Buddy said that there were 53 amendments in the previous finance bill. He has looked at it and he has taken 49. So I think 5 have been taken out of the picture. Yes, so I want to hear what your thoughts are on all this. Of course, there was a conversation on a cabinet secretaries, but I'm the kind of people who will let them burn themselves first, so that I stand there and wait for their downfall. Yes, so I will wait. I think Riek is not with us. Kuna watu wenye wako kwenye listener panel and they're trying to request the microphone. This is your chance to come and talk to us. Now I want to engage the real Joe for a minute. Joe, uko hapo?
Niko.
Okay, sawa. This is your chance. Talk to us.
Okay, so there's something that I really commended from Zalendo, and this one of the things I was talking about. You remember about filing petitions and things like that. That is one of the ways this movement can also be very effective, and I'm seeing that from Zalendo. My concept was, I was asked so many times, what can we do? So that is one of the things that we can do, filing those petitions. But now we need to have more support from this in terms of how many people are going to file petitions. We need to have as many petitions as possible, framed in different ways and things like that, so that when this one is maybe kicked out, this one is there, things like that. And we ensure that we show these people that we are now we are alive and kicking. That is one of the strategies that we can do on when I was asked, what can we do the way forward? Number 2, also just to come back to the other point of we're talking about assemblies. We can use the term assemblies to start organizing assemblies and people, and you can use that to go maybe to the CBDs, and you'll find that we can do that maybe for a period of time without having distractions from maybe authorities and things like that. Because if we use the term protest, automatically sahi protest yote tukita protest hata kesho, barabara zote zimefungwa na wenyewe watafungia watu mabiashara town. But sometimes you might want also sometimes to be heard, and you might want also to catch people by surprise.
So we can also be framing our messages differently and doing things differently. Finally, one topic that people don't like to talk about, and this, I'm just going to say it because it's very controversial, but I just have to say it anyway. Finally, we need also to give room for the upcoming leaders who are in this movement. Let them come up, let us support them. The issue of leaderless and things like that, I really don't know, but if there are any leaders who want to come out from this movement, let us give them opportunities. Let us also have those conversations of even political parties, and even let us also be seen, some of these people. We want them to be seen in the media making deals. Like yesterday, niliona kina Kalonzo wamekaa mahali, and we just want all those kind of commotions so that this movement can be seen like different angles, different ways, and people doing different things. Thank you very much for the chance.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Home Run PP. I see Mbugwa ameinua mkono juu. Mbugwa, what's up?
Well, thanks bro. Thanks bro. Real Joe, hapo hivyo mwisho ndio nimeagree nawe kiasi, but hapo hivyo mbele ulikuwa una harakwa ki una harakwa.
I don't use that language on my show, brother.
All right. I
don't use that language on the show.
Do I apologize? Do I apologize?
Yes, retract. PG on the show. We are people who are listening to us with their families in the car.
Listen,
So, okay.
Listen. The mere fact that we have families, hiyo ndio inatufanya tukuwe careful na can you
what is the exact point that you don't agree with the real Joe? Because I feel Mbugwa, you are not being specific. Which fact? What point are you not agreeing with? Because I feel like
us to be angry.
Okay, but you know, this is an opinion space, brother. This is an opinion space.
PP. Let me finish my submission. Listen, I love everything Morara Kebas has been doing. Morara is angry. Aki walai, until we get there, we are still going to hold these spaces, or rather, you are still going to hold these spaces, and then we are going to talk, vent out our anger or whatever, come back, do it again, over and over again, until we are really angry. I keep on saying. Sorry?
I'll have to cut you, man. I don't get to points. Anthony, I don't know. I want to get the point because
see Mbugwa, Morara felt.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm listening.
I'm saying when Morara felt people were not, he had a different way of doing this, he simply started doing it. Personally, on my end, I felt from way back at Ambo, we needed to have a structure, a leadership structure. I didn't wait for people to agree. I just started creating one. And I brought in people. Okay? So if you feel you can open a space, say this is a space for anger. And in that space, you are not the only one. Mtakuwa wengi. Okay? So that now we start having this convergence of ideas. The real Joe has given you a very good outlay. Instead of using mandamano when the word we are going for a demonstration, use the word we are going for. He has called it a citizens' assembly. You can achieve the same goal, but with less bila kuingililiwa sana na polisi. That's the message you are not getting, and that's why Pipita is saying we are all saying the same thing. Okay, so just listen to real Joe with an open mind. He might not be using your words, but he's advocating for what you're saying, but using legally acceptable words. because you need to work within the law.
Law.
Okay,
Which law? Are they acting within the law?
You see, Mboguaki, okay, they are the law. You see, meaning Ruto, the day Ruto wanted to unleash the military on the street, he thought of it at night, it became a law in the morning. So you can only act within his law. Yeah, kona right za kufold. Your work as a clever person is to outmaneuver him because he's also working to outmaneuver us.
Bro,
so let's play the outmaneuvering game.
Bro, you gonna right here. Listen, Rex and all who've paid the blood. Right now we are talking about all this. Oh yeah, we the reason why we are having this conversation, or rather hosting this, due respect to Pipita, is because to make
Baba, Mbugu, I think maybe by the way, my patience is running out because what you are talking about.
I actually wanted to ask whether Mbugu,
are you sober for real? Because you are really stretching my IQ at this moment. I just came back from holiday and I'm already feeling it. Please, I'm going to give you a breather, Mbugu. Acha nikupatie time ya kubreathe. Mbugu, we'll talk when you. Nope, bye. Because here's the thing, guys. When you come to make a point, make the point. The time for anger will come. We have already been angry. Home Run with Pipi is a radio station, just like any other. The way you tune into Kiss FM, that is the same way Home Run with Pipi is. It is not a space that came from mambo ya maandamano ama nini. It is a space that has been running with very clear information and facts.
Social conversations, engaging topics on your phone anywhere. This is Home Run.
Jamani. This is why I took a break, guys. Anto, when you see it is fit for you, go take that break, okay?
I'm reading my Bible.
Learn, my brother, learn. You're learning here. Anyway, let me go to Ayabe. Let's switch up the engine kidogo tupumzishe pressure. Ayabe, how are you doing? Aya, are you there? Anaitwa Fei. Habari yako Fei? Are you there?
Poa sana vipi? How are you?
Niko poa. You on the road?
Niko kumbe ndio maana nimekuwa nimenyamaza. Nilikuwa nimestop mahali niwasalimie but nimeanza tena kutembea. Anyway, nilikuwa nakusalimia tu. How was your break?
My break was amazing, nashukuru.
Unatuletea nini? Unajua si ni wa Kenya, lazima tuletee.
Kujia mabuyu.
Aya, drop pin nakuja.
Hata wewe unataka utekwe na mabuyu mtu wangu. Anyway. What are your thoughts kwa hii mambo yenye tunaongelea?
Sahi, I can't speak. Niko tu napiga salamu. Nita request mic maybe towards the end. If not, maybe kesho.
Haina shida. All the best kwa barabara. Aya, sawa. Nice time. That is Ayabe, one of our ardent listeners hapa hivi. Now, I want to go to the comment section, see what is happening. Pan-Africanist anasema, welcome back, Pipita. Stretching my IQ, I'm running with it. Hey, guys. Asanteni sana kwa hizi. You guys actually make my day. And of course, Mbogwa, there is no bad blood between us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to Home Run with Pipi.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I see the real Joe Minom Jew. I can see Mizani is also here. JM, big up to everybody who has tuned in here to talk to us and also listen to the show. It is always a great time to have you around hapa hivi kwenye home run with Pipi. Remember, every day tuko hapa hivi. On Tuesday, that is tomorrow, we will be here for the State of the Nation. It's been a minute. Today we're just coming back into reality now. Starting tomorrow, we go back to our normal programming that is at as usual. Tuesday, State of the Nation. What are we catching up on? We are looking at the projects that have been launched and all these things. But today, I just want to get a general feel, of course, of what is happening. Now, there is something interesting that has happened. You know, Equity Bank has lost 1.5 billion shillings. I'm going to come and tell you a story. The real Joe, how are you?
Okay, there's something I just wanted to add slightly to what we're talking about. There's this element that I've seen currently that we want to think of doing things somehow want to use some different type of force maybe in the movement. I don't know how you guys are going to take this, but I highly disregard that. You guys can see what has happened today with an example of Jimmy Wanjigi. Jimmy